friends, welcome to another video. Today we are on our backyard, on our patio. I decided to make a potting bench, to build a potting bench that I designed myself, and so that kind of prompted me to redo the whole patio. I also painted this cute little birdhouse in super colorful bohemian style, and after that I was like, I just had to do the entire patio in a more colorful way, especially because if you guys have seen the inside of our house, it's very neutral, natural tones, clean, and no color pretty much. It's all white wood, you know, very natural. So I was craving some color and I decided to redo the patio. It's not completely finished, but it's gonna be done for now until we can keep working on it. It's a house. If you are a homeowner, you know that you're never done with a house. So if you guys want to see where we're gonna go from here, just stay tuned. Okay, so first of all, let me just say this. I am not a woodworker. I want to be, but I'm not. We definitely have a lot of tools and we have more skills than the average person, that is for sure. A lot of it's because Corey has worked with tools and wood a little bit more than I have, so he usually teaches me, but we're not experts. So if you see something that I did wrong and you're like, oh my god, that is awful, well, too bad, so sad. It's already built, so just look past that and hopefully you guys enjoy the video. I designed this potting bench myself, and the objective was to have a lot more space than we had before for like all my potting tools, extra pots, but also Corey has this pellet grill that is a small portable electric pellet grill, and so we keep it outside, and we needed a table to cook that we could pull away from anything flammable, and so I designed it to fit this other table that Corey's mom had and she gifted to us. It's a stainless steel table and it's on wheels, so essentially I'm making a cart, a potting bench that would allow for a rolling cart to go underneath it, and so that we can pull it out, use the top, and then pull it back in, push it back in. So I hope that makes sense. You'll see whenever you get to the end of it. So the other thing that I wanted with this is that I wanted it to look more elegant or more modern, and so I went with this slatted style that I kind of just, you know, I looked for inspiration everywhere, so I designed it myself. And then the other thing is I ended up doing it with cedar fence pickets for a couple of reasons. We love them. They are weatherproof naturally. They look nice, and another thing is that they are very light. Oh, and they don't warp over time. And Houston is extremely humid, so it was important to us that it was, you know, somewhat weatherproof. So okay, so not all of the design process starts like this, but in this case, since I'm building something, the first step is going to be measuring everything so that I know the space that I have and what I need. So I need to build a shell, an outer shell, to go over this stainless steel table that is going to roll inside that shell because I need space saving and multi-purpose. So I'm going to measure also the potting bench that I already have, just to kind of have a point of reference to see how I like this, and I can compare it and improve upon that design. Next thing is I took all my measurements to the computer. I don't know if you guys know this, but I went back to school to study some architecture and design, and so I'm familiar with a couple of softwares, but I really wanted to learn how to use SketchUp because it's really easy, especially compared to AutoCAD, Revit, MicroStation, all of them. This one is super easy, so this was the first time I was using it, and I kind of just taught myself how and designed my potting bench how I envisioned it in my head. So I wanted extra shelves for my pots and for other stuff that we keep outside, and then I wanted a surface that was deep enough to kind of use even when the other table was tucked into here. And you'll notice at the bottom that the supports are a different color. That's just because I wanted those to be ground contact so that the wood wouldn't rot. Even though it's under a covered patio and it is cedar, I wanted as much protection as I could. So this is my design and I am loving it. Next, I took everything off and took apart the current potting bench because I am going to reuse those fence pickets, as many as I can. As you guys know, I am a big proponent of using and reusing and upcycling, using what you have so that we are not a wasteful society. So anyway, I'm gonna try and take it down and salvage as much as I can. also went through our pile of wood to look for any other fence pickets that we may have. Like I said, we love fence pickets, so I knew we had some more that I could also reuse, and so that's what I'm doing in the back. I'm like digging through all of that so that I can pull the fence pickets while Corey planes them so that they are all the same thickness. So team effort, and thank goodness Corey was here this day to help me plane, because planing takes forever. Again, you don't have to if you just buy new fence pickets. I mean, they are a little bit rough, so probably, but you can probably just sand them. I don't know, I'm rambling. Yeah, work them to get them smooth. Said, I upcycled as much wood as I could, but there is some stuff that I ended up having to buy, particularly because it's a really tall potting bench, and so I needed pieces that were long enough. This one is a 2x6, and I ripped it to cut it into 1.5 by 1.5 so I could build my frame out of that. If you guys are familiar with woodworking, 2x6 actually means 1.5 by 5.5. So once I had them ripped to the thickness that I wanted them, then I measured everything and I cut the length, and I have my little checklist that I got from SketchUp. I have a cut list and a checklist from that, and I am cross-referencing to make sure I have everything. Okay, so these are all the fence pickets that Corey planed for me, so they are all the same thickness. Now I just need to trim some of the edges of the older ones that I'm reusing, and then cut them to the width that I need, which is 2.5 inches. So first I gotta cut the edge, and then we'll go from there. And obviously you guys can just build it with the fence pickets as they are and sort of adjust your measurements. This is just the look I had in mind, so I had to cut them to that design, but you can certainly use the fence pickets just the way they are. You would just probably have to adjust your measurements, like I said. Once I had them ripped to the width that I needed and they were all planed to be the same thickness, I just went ahead and cut them to length, and this is what my day looked like. All my little pieces, so many of them, but now it's time to assemble it, and I'm gonna do some pocket holes on the parts that I don't want to show the screws. Some of the parts I won't care because the frame will be covered with the wood slats on the side, so those parts I'm not gonna drill pocket holes for, just like the parts on the front that would show. After that, it's just a matter of putting it together, and again I have my clipboard here with my design, so I kind of know where everything goes, and I'm just gonna put some glue and some clamps, and then I'm going to screw it with wood screws that are good for outside. I probably could have used brad nails, but it's gonna have some weight on it, so that's what I'm gonna use instead. So now that I have some sections assembled together, I am going to assemble the whole thing out in the backyard, because once it gets too big, I'm not going to be able to carry it back. So I figure I'll bring everything outside, and what I'm going to do is I am going to do the slats on the shelves first, just because I'm worried that my nail gun won't fit in the space like vertically once it's put together, so I want to do that first. And this is just the easiest thing in the world. So I have my pieces, and I am going to use finishing nails, brad nails, and if you see that little piece of wood, it is my spacer that is, I believe, 1/2 inch thick, and so that I can continue uniform spacing, and it looks professional because it needs to look cute. shelves already done, I went ahead and put a toe strap per Corey's suggestion so that I could hold it all really tight together, since my clamps are not anywhere close to that width, but I need to have it in place so that I can pre-drill and drill all the screws into the frame and hold it all together. But yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying this video. I know I usually do furniture painting, and that's what I like doing a lot, but I also do a lot of DIYs. Pretty much everything in our house is DIY, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. I don't know, I am learning how to do a lot of woodworking as well. But anyway, back to this. The top of it, the only thing I had to do here is cut a couple of notches so that the last edge piece would go over the top. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm gonna measure it and cut 1.5 by 1.5 square out of the corners and out of this section right here that I'm touching. I hope it makes sense. Oh my god, I am so technical. So once I cut that, it will fit really snug. Okay, so here's my piece. I ended up cutting this a little bit shorter than this because it needs to account for this edge. This one is going to overlap to the end, so it needs to be the width of my fence pickets, wider or longer, and this one will go in here. Okay, so the next part of this project is to add more color into the house, or into the patio. I know I've told you guys that I also want to redo the couches and the chairs, and I want to redo the swing, but those are other projects that I don't have to have finished right this second in order to make it look more like I want. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint this other little table that we really just found in the trash on the side of the road, and we picked it up because it was small enough and it fits perfectly between those two chairs, and we never did anything with it, so we have nothing to lose. I'm just gonna paint it and give it some colorful look so that it can go with the new theme. I've also gotten into plants like a lot of people during this pandemic, and so that's another thing that I want to work on, make it whimsical, we'll have a lot of plants and make it like a cute little oasis with nature and colorful and happy, because we do hang out here all the time. Like if the weather is nice, or I mean it's Houston, so most of the time it's hot and humid, but we'll still hang out here, and so I wanted it to be our own little oasis. So I decided to put some more plants in here, and I have thrifted a few pots here and there that I've converted, painted, made over, so lots of that. And another thing that I wanted to do is, again, because I'm doing lots of planties, I wanted to make my own macrame hangers. You know, you can buy them, sometimes they sell them for cheap, but I like making them, so I'm gonna make a couple of them. I actually have this hook here because we used to have a hammock that went that way. It's not here anymore, but I'm gonna use it to try and make a macrame plant hanger. And I'm not gonna do a tutorial on this because, you guys, I don't know much about this kind of stuff. I kind of just Google it and, you know, find people who are experts on this, and I follow their tutorials. So if you want to make one for yourself, I would definitely suggest you do that instead of me trying to pretend that I know what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna follow a tutorial and do a hanger to put up here. That's what I usually do. I make all of my hangers, but I am not an expert by any means. So I'm going to fast forward through all of this. guys, I totally struggled to figure out what to put in this video because pretty much everything in my house is DIY, and this patio in particular had a ton of little projects that I don't know how to compile for you guys to show you. So maybe follow me on Instagram so I can show you little things that I do that don't always make it into the videos. So I painted the pots, you know, I pretty much paint everything I can. So I painted lots of pots to add stripes, some scallops, I put a face on one of them. They're all like super cute. I painted the bird houses by hand, like this bohemian color. I think I showed them at the beginning, but I had tons of projects, and so I'm just happy to share them with you. And don't forget to subscribe and go on Instagram so you can see like day to day, like the little things that I do. Okay, I have a few other pots and I haven't figured out where I want to put them yet or what colors I want to paint. So this guy didn't get repotted, but that's okay. I'm gonna keep working on it like I said before. But that is it for now. I'm gonna show you how everything turned out, and I hope that you guys like it. Again, if you like anything that I've done, don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe, follow, and if you are interested in my plans that I did for the potting bench, just leave a comment down below and I'll find a way to link it, and like maybe I can save it on Google Drive and share it with you guys so that you can copy it and make it your own if you want to. But yeah, I will see you next time. Okay, that's it. Okay, love it, bye.
Was that you living in someone else's dreams?
Do you want your beer now or later?
I want my beer now. Thank you, husband.
See?